I'm Katie Key, and I'm here in the Cluttered Corner with Coley McCabe.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the corner.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
There's a
Me
lot
too.
of stuff happening around you these days,
I'm excited.
and we want to talk about it.
Okay.
It's a new year. What is on the agenda for Coley?
Well, my first single is out right now. This ain't the 60's.
It's
Is it-
cute.
Thank you. We'll get into that
Yeah.
a whole bit later, I guess, about how and why it was written. But and just playing. I'm just I just moved last year, so it's my first single in Texas, and I'm just trying to. We're building a fan base and just trying to grow it.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm just playing everywhere that will have me and try to just grow that. So.
Well, let's talk about your background because, like you said, you just moved into Texas not too long ago, but you've been around for a while. You've been doing the music thing for a while. Let's talk about that.
Well, I guess from the beginning. We'll start at the beginning.
We'll start at the beginning. That's a great place to start.
West Virginia is where I'm from. I was born, and I don't know if you knew that, but I was born up in the northeastern part of. Grew up in the northeastern part of the state, and all growing up, my whole plan was always, as soon as I get out of this place, I'm moving to Nashville. I'm going to make records.
Yeah.
Because that's all we knew. I remember, I started singing, when I was little, like in church, like a lot of folks do. But I started writing and playing probably 8th, 9th grade. So my plan was always, I'm going to get a band together, which I did as soon as I graduated, and kind of started playing around the tri-state area. And did that, and as soon as I could, moved to Nashville, because that was just the plan. That was what I was going to do, and I'm going to go there and make country records.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. I kind of, it just felt like I was making a pop record.
Yeah.
And it was just a constant, it was kind of like, it felt like if Aaron Watson was making a Rascal Flatts record.
Ooh, yeah.
It just never fit. It didn't work. And I kept trying, and it's like, it's just not, I was on RCA at the time, and it was just a constant, struggle creatively. And so I left there, and I kept writing. I had a publishing deal, and I've been really I've had a couple cuts, by other artists, and so I still did that, but it really broke my spirit.
Yeah.
We met. That's when we first, you and I
Yeah.
first met, and I just kind of was like, what do you do? And it's weird because a lot of industry people said to me during that time, "You seem like a Texas artist," and I was always like, "What does that mean?" So I started listening, and realized, and then I was like, I get it. I get why, I was just so kind of in this tunnel of this is what they expect, and this is what I got to do, and it just wasn't.
But it wasn't
right.
who you were. And
Right.
so you were writing the way that you felt, and so it just didn't mix with what they wanted.
Right.
And so
Right.
you had to separate.
Exactly.
Yeah. But now you're
Thank
here.
God. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it all happens for a reason, obviously.
I'm a true believer, firm believer in that. So, I'm just excited that, and like I said, I was writing that whole time. I've been writing the last several years, and I'm just so relieved that people are getting it, and liking it, and it's doing good. And I just hope that, we can just keep going with it. We're gonna put another single out this year, and we'll see how how this one does. And so
Well,
I don't know the date. I don't know when we're gonna work on the next one, but
But like you had mentioned earlier, This Ain't the 60's is the current single. So let's talk about you writing that process. How did that come about?
I wrote that song with Win Varble. Do you know him?
I do, from Nashville Star.
Yes. Or CMT's
No,
Next Superstar.
CMT Next Superstar. One of the toe shows, yeah.
So you know who he is. He is the most awesome guy. He's so talented. He's such a great writer and great singer and just a great storyteller. And he's just a character.
Right, that's how he came across on the show.
He's such a character, and that's all exactly how he is. Well, he knew I had just gotten out of a relationship that didn't work out. And
Which, by the way, is where most of the great songs come from, apparently.
Either something horrible has happened, or something great's happened.
Right.
So he and I had a writing appointment, and he had written several hits already, and I was kind of nervous about it. But we were also friends, and he knew both of us, the other person. So he came in, you know, and he was like, you know, are you okay? What happened? And I just didn't want to talk about it. I just really, at that particular time, I was like, I'm not talking about it. And I knew what he was doing, trying to, you know, get a song idea and playing on my emotional state. Anyway, I said, look, I don't want to talk about it. All I know is he ain't Johnny, I ain't June, and this ain't the 60s. And he started that Johnny Cash thing, and it was all over just an hour later. We were done, and I'm so glad. And it's funny, I've never written anything, it's almost kind of rockabilly feeling. And I've never written anything, you know, before or since, exactly like that. But I was glad that, you know, that we did that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's just, and I probably, if I'd been writing with somebody else that day, it wouldn't have happened that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's cool.
Obviously, I'm not a songwriter, don't even pretend to be, or haven't even played at one. But it's always interesting to me to hear how songs come about and how they can just happen. Or you could be writing one, bits and pieces of one forever, and then it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Who did I hear talk about that one time? I think it was Sheryl Crow. She said, if I don't finish it, and I'm kind of the same way, occasionally I'll start something and then set it aside, and if it keeps coming back, then I need to finish it. But I heard her say one time that if she had a box for all the songs, there's something about if she didn't finish, she'd have a whole big box full of songs that weren't finished, and there would be a big masking tape on the front that said loser. So people do it differently.
Yeah.
I mean, writers, you know, go about it differently, and the whole process is different for everybody almost.
Well, that's cool. Well, thank you again for coming to the corner.
Thanks.
And tell us, where can people find out more about your music and where you're going to be playing and all that kind of fun stuff?
ColeyMcCabe.com. ColeyMccabe.com. And that's my website, and that can direct you to iTunes and Reverb Nation and all that stuff.
Okay, folks, you don't want to miss out. She's a great talent. Be listening for her single on the radio.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You sure as hell not Johnny, and I ain't June.